on him and manages to clear him. Carl's going to try again, though. Edwards, his best Cup finish here has been fourth 3 different times. He's never won in Cup action. He picked up his 4th nationwide win yesterday, and he would love to end that streak of non-winning. This goes all the way back to 2 years ago at Homestead.
Yeah, it looks like right in the center of the corners where Denny's having a little bit of an issue with his car. Maybe it's gotten too tight, sliding the nose. He's got really good drive off, though.
And right now, Carl Edwards' biggest fan is Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick. It's 15 points minimum between first and second. Denny also the only of the one of the 3 chase contenders to lead a lap. He's led the most laps, so he's picked up 10 bonus points today. Here comes Carl again. You can get a great view, but again, Denny able to pull.
See how he gets on that apron, that left front on the apron, Carl Edwards. And you can see all the banking roll out of the car. It helps the car turn, but it looks like Denny's getting off the corner pretty good. Been a while since Carl Edwards has won a race.
We talked about it. Homestead back in 08, 70 starts since his last win. And here he goes, side by side. Can he clear him this time? This is where Denny's been really good coming off.
Yeah, and you wonder how hard Denny Hamlin's going to race somebody that hadn't won in that amount of time, because you know he's pretty hungry to get to the front.
Dave, what's the latest you're hearing from the 99 cap as they go again?
Marty, we're taking a look at this great battle. Carl not saving fuel right now, but they got about 11 laps under caution. He clears Hamlin going into 3 here. 11 laps under caution. Bob Osborne told him, I need you to save about a lap and a half. For Carl Edwards, that's very doable. But guys, we don't know if there's going to be another caution at the end of this race and everybody comes for tires and fuel.
2 drivers have swept the weekend in Phoenix history. Can Carl become the 3rd? Because right now he's back out in front. He led early in this race 47 times, and it's the 5th time that he's led today. And how about Carl yesterday? Yeah, with the sun right in his eyes. Yep, the backflip. He wants to do that again today. Here at Phoenix International, 39 laps to go with Carl Edwards out in front now by almost a full second over Denny Hamlin, as his car has found new life after leading early in this race. But Hamlin doing what he wants to do as far as trying to put a stranglehold on the points, because Jimmy Johnson has dropped 1 spot to Juan Pablo Montoya. He's in 5th, and here comes Ryan Newman to try and put him back to 6th.
Yeah, Newman tried a couple of times to make that inside work. He's going to try the high side on Jimmy Johnson now.
Jeff Burton right behind as well. Remember, Burton having a banner day as he started 40th. And how's this for, you know, we've talked pre-race about Jimmy's domination here. In the last 5 Phoenix races, Jimmy's led 3 times as many laps as any other driver. Today, he hasn't had a sniff at the lead, and he's just got passed again. Jamie, what are you hearing?
The car just isn't right still, Marty. They've been working away on it. It's free in and free off. He says we need to keep it turning to be good on the long run, but he's not having any luck. Right now, he'd be 58 points back to the 11. Definitely not having the day they had hoped for in the 48 cam.
All right, Jamie, thanks for the update. How about updating the current point situation? It is not looking good for the 48 or Kevin Harvick. 63 and 112, although Harvick has picked up a couple of more spots. He's back up to the 12th position. Now, 36 laps to go. We know that Carl Edwards thinks he can go the distance. Let's bring Ray Aronhan in and let's get you 2 crew chiefs talking about strategy. What if we get a yellow? What do you do?
Well, guys, go ahead, Andy.
No, I think if I'm Harvick, you know, his back's kind of against the wall. Watching his lap times right now, they're as fast as anybody. Matter of fact, he had the 2nd fastest lap time last lap. You know, you'd think he might want to take 2 tires if the caution came out now just to try to take track position. But, you know, he's running 12th. Would you try to roll the dice that you could beat some guys out, Ray?
Well, Andy, I think right now, if he's going to score the maximum points, he's got to hope if the yellow comes out, I'd come in and get 2, and you've got to hope that some of those other guys that pitted with him would also take 2 and get some distance between he and the other guys. So it really depends on what the other guys do that I think will determine Kevin the right call for him, but he's going to need some jam cars, if you will, between him and those fast cars.
Yeah, and really, there's nothing to lose for Kevin. I mean, he's sitting back there in 12th spot right now, and not much to lose. He's out of the championship if he doesn't make something happen. So maybe that's a way he could make something happen on a restart.
Kevin Harvick right now is 10 seconds behind the race lead. His next target would be Mark Martin, who is in the 11th spot, and then Kurt Busch up in 10th. And there you see the two of them right ahead. Gives you some proximity of where they are. But the laps are starting to wind down quickly. When you're this far back, 33 doesn't sound like much.
I guess a bigger question, if the caution doesn't come out, the big question is, can the 11 and the 48 make it here on fuel?
Well, if you don't have a handling car, do you go in, like Jimmy Johnson, do you go into fuel conservation mode and hope that Hamlin has to make a stop and maybe you steal this?
Well, you go into fuel conservation mode if you're close. If you're not close, it's not going to help you. All you're going to do is lose spots right here.
What about Denny Hamlin as far as his fuel situation? He's 1.5 seconds behind Carl Edwards. What are you hearing, Doc?
Marty, a couple of issues. As far as the handling first, this is the most difficult issue he's had all day long. He said it's loose in, tight in the center, and loose off. And the worst news from Mike Ford a moment ago, he told his driver, Denny Hamlin, we are 12 laps short on fuel. We cannot make it.
Yeah, so you can't save that kind of fuel. That's what I say. You're not going to go into conservation mode at that point. You just run it out as hard as you can, hope a caution comes out. If it doesn't, you make a pit stop and hope everybody else has to pit.
You saw Mike Ford on the right there. He's worked with 3 other champions, but not in their championship year. Bill Elliott, Terry Labonte, and our own Dale Jarrett. Can he get his own this year? Race leader Carl Edwards is the 3rd car in that train, and he has 26 laps to go to get his first ever Sprint Cup win and to pull off the double after winning yesterday's nationwide race. His lead over Denny Hamlin is 1.8 seconds. You can see the lap traffic in front of him, though. Casey Mears and the 82 of Scott Speed. Look a little further back, and there is Denny Hamlin, and we're starting to think about fuel strategy because look at the guy on the bottom.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick's got 10 extra laps on fuel on the rest of the cars because he made that extra pit stop. And then you got Denny Hamlin, whose crew said he was 12 laps short. He's going to have to make a pit stop here fairly soon, within the next 12 to 15 laps.
And let's flash back to yesterday's nationwide race. We all thought there was going to be a late race caution. That's what history told us. It never happened. If this stays green, you may be looking at a guy who could just slide by and really steal one.
Yeah, this could turn the points upside down.
Vince?
Twice this season, there's been a 100-point or more swing for Kevin Harvick in the standings, and he needs that kind of day now. He needs this race to go to the end because that's the only way he's going to make it to the front. The fuel game.
Yeah, we're right there. It shows we ought to make it right there, right to 312.
Remember when Harvick had that dropped lug nut, or that lug nut that was not put on their pit stop, and he said we needed to go green. Gil Martin told him we needed to go green all the way to the end, and Harvick said that's our only chance. Well, it might be coming to fruition.
And he's awfully loose coming off of 4 the last couple of laps.
I was going to say, if he's going to make this strategy work, he can't wreck the thing.
Here are the points right now as they run. Hamlin 2nd, Johnson 6th, Harvick 12th. You can see the swing could be huge, and his only shot right now is for this to stay green. Rusty, what about the tire situation? You got an observation there?
Well, not much of an observation, Marty, but that's my biggest concern right now. That's a lot to ask out of the right front tire with all the brake heat these cars are getting. I mean, you got to believe if they're going to run this long, we could be looking at a right front problem. These guys have been stopping at about 70 laps, but I've been calculating down here that they could go on fuel as far as about up to 80 laps. That's about 4.5 miles per gallon, picking up about 18.8 gallons of fuel. That's what most of them can do at their max. So it's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough on that right front tire.
Well, and there's a couple of other guys that think they may be able to go the distance. Montoya and Newman, they're running 4th and 5th right now on the track. We'll have to keep tabs on them. In fact, let's check in with Tim Brewer over at the Craftsman Tech Garage.
Guys, the key to a fuel cell is not how much you put in, it's how much you get out of it. But what we have over here, centrifugal force is going to force the fuel over through these doors. But over here in this area right here, that's the fuel pickup. We've got this baffle that will contain it because you got a little bit of banking. But you're depending on putting 18.7 gallons in here. This run, you better get 18.7 out if you're going to win this race. Guys?
Of course, if you're Casey Kane, you can take your gas can with you.
Yeah, you have
fill
an
up as
extra
you
10
go.
gallons there.
Doc, give us an update on the 11.
Well, Denny Hamlin has come on the radio.